Hello there, greetings. I won't be the one to tell you, but world's ending again, November 19th. Just in case, you know, seeing how this is a monthly event, I figure I share our thoughts of something that's, and you know what's worse about, okay, well, what's worse about all this, let's see here, it's on a Sunday. God, it just ruined everybody's, it's even Biden next comes up with this stuff. So, let's see what's going on in the chat room. Well, greetings, everyone. Greetings. Add, yeah, end of the world's happening again. Yeah, you guys, you okay with that? You're all right. It's all going, it's sitting with, yeah, skits. What is it? It's Kevin Spacey. Yeah, it's yeah, Hollywood's on fire, isn't it? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's Kevin Spacey. That's, geez, I guess who knows who else is going to come out of the wood. I guess Steven Seagal, nobody really cares about him. So, with that's going on in Hollywood. As for the doom date, I don't know, just do a search somewhere. It's out there. The 19th, if you care. I was gonna add people as moderators on here, but if everybody's behaving, it should be okay. So yeah, as for what's going on, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I think they're just making up stuff now. So is that what's going to go on in the future? As for I guess right now Hollywood, or at least the government's kind of like, was it FBI? Um, I guess are arresting a couple of people. I forget exactly what's going on. It doesn't really matter. But as for what's going on in the world, yeah, there's much manipulation. A lot of that's coming from Anunnaki. I would say war and Anunnakis are trying to deter the direction. Of course, they are, they do things like this to just lower vibrations. As for Trump, I don't think anything's going to happen to him. As for what's going on, go back to with Hollywood, it was Kevin Spacey. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's pretty. I guess he had something with a 14-year-old boy or something like that. Oh, jeez, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, he's one of many in Hollywood that are at least respected. I'm not sure about anymore. Not anymore. And there's probably other things about him that have happened, has not come into light either. So that sucks. I don't know what to say. Just hopefully it all trickles down to Washington eventually. Unlikely anytime soon, but of course Washington has its own cesspool to deal with. Propaganda machine of its own right, at least politics, propaganda. So let's see here. Something about do with NASA. Yeah, obviously there's a lot of manipulations going on with that. As for what's truly going on, obviously, what's going on in our universe, our solar system for that matter. It's funny. We're just a little ghetto in the corner. Let's see. Well, the positive energies are saying that yes, we are shifting out of a dark tone, meaning of connecting more to our higher selves, those that are already doing so. We will continue to do so. But also, they're saying that you'll also connect outside the planet, meaning become more knowledgeable about it when the time is needed. Right now, you're just, Earth affairs, third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension. But also says eventually you'll go outside the Earth and just feel what's going on, at least with the aliens, or well, say aliens, of what's going on. And some are already experiencing that to a certain degree. But it does seem like they'll increase, meaning basically you receive a download as needed. And you can say this is where, just for those that now understand, there are those that are going through it somewhat, but just to put that out there, that if you do receive something, you don't understand it, and you feel like it's coming, it's like, am I going crazy? Not at all. I'm also feeling a lot of mantis energies that are causing some conflict outside the Earth at this time, along with negative Palladians, but realize the low vibrations aren't as strong as they used to be. Yes, there's much manipulations going on with the light workers and also many on this planet, but many are awakening, and that number will continue. But as for what's going on outside the Earth, of course, that's just a small bit of what's going on. Galactic Federations, understand what I am getting is hold on a moment. As manipulations are, as different galactic alliances are connecting in a more positive way, many of us here are letting go of the manipulations, are becoming more aware of it. And so basically the brainwashing isn't working as it used to on those that are awakened, in which terrifying the low energies, the reptilians or whatever it might be. As a yeah, this might be a small number now, but that small number can grow. And so basically, like channels like this or others, basically, to not to give fear into the fear mongering, such as weather fear, like the movie Geostorm. A lot of that does exist. It does feel to a certain degree. And not to give in to manipulation, especially what's going on in the media, obviously, and just to not just there's so much that's going on as for negative downloads also, but that negative download is what causes negative, violence or whatever, or Las Vegas for that matter. Oh yeah, was it California? The fires in California to get you, I think it was the California fires to get you away from Las Vegas. Yes and no. That was already planned from what it seems. But as for the downloads that people are just getting positive and dark, the dark downloads to be at least more understood by those of the light workers as we become more higher vibrational as the time comes. Yes, the pressures are getting harder on many of the light workers, of course, as the low vibrations are becoming more sophisticated. But also the light is getting more sophisticated. Also, basically, you can identify the manipulations a lot easier and heal it as you connect more to the angel, alien energies. And just know that these are just all just mind control devices that have been done, yes, mostly by reptilians, but they're also realizing that their devices are not working as they used to. Meaning they say, yeah, I got that one. That one's all angry about his mom or whatever it might be. But then that person awakens, like, why am I mad about this? This is all over. It's like 5 years ago. So they clear that. And so reptilian or whoever, probably mostly reptilian, not always the case, will get very frustrated. And it's just, as you clear out your manipulations, you might feel a frustration around you from the beings that are causing it. Now, usually they're pretty at a distance at that time, but just to let you know, if you do feel a frustration, it's most likely not coming from you. As they are doubling down on humanity as much as they can. So the last thing they do is one is an aware society. Also, this world is becoming more galactic day by day. Also, many have questions about the reality here, of course, and nothing makes any sense. is because, yeah, because there's a galactic grid around this Earth that is a manipulation that is now allowed to be seen. As yes, reptilians, mostly the negative reptilians that are causing difficulties, yes, are connected to the Illuminati energies. The Illuminati energies are usually quite, you know, there's different rankings of reptilian. Usually higher rankings around the Illuminati. Of course, it goes down to reptilians. So like more of like your what you would see as your troops, basically your reptilian troops are manipulating humanity. For the most part, they're doing out, so they can move up the ranks, so they can be out there and drink tea or whatever they do. Just make fun of Prince Charles's hairdo all day, whatever it might be. I have a cat here, and she keeps calling me. Well, what's going on at this time? Basically, yes, there's many different reptilian grids of manipulation across the planet and Anunnaki and so on, and there's others, of course, can't go into all of them. But basically, become more identifying them over time. Basically, they do have bases everywhere, alien bases. They're not seen in our dimension, most likely, but they do like to be around, areas where there aren't a lot of buildings. Basically, outside the cities is usually where they have, but not always. They do have I did see these before, like beacons of manipulation and other dimensions that they created to basically do massive mind control. But now you can be able to see these things. If you start seeing things around you, that's most likely that is the grid they built up around, in the cities, what have you. But their bases are usually outside the cities, usually are underground, usually outside the cities. Because they don't want to get bothered. But it doesn't mean that they're not that far. They're just basically where there's nothing. There's likely like you have the city and you go out and you say, oh, look at those nice trees. Most likely there's some kind of base out there somewhere. But it's usually where the manipulators are operating. Sometimes they have to be on ground to do this. Can't be off ground. They can't be they can be, off planet, but it's better to be here. Obviously, we can't see them, but they're here. Their own dimension, you might be able to see them. If you feel a lot of negativity, I went to, what was it? I went to around this time, went to Ocala area, and it was like in Nowheresville, of course, sort of. There was a city, it was real small, but I felt like a reptilian presence. It felt like a base. If it was underground, I couldn't tell, but I felt like it was above ground. I just can't see it. So it was pretty obvious too. Of course, they went to, happy that was there, but either way, there's not much you can do about it. Basically, if you feel a presence or something, it's definitely you're on key for the most part. It's basically the reason the Galactic Federation of Light is bringing this in, as we become more aware of the control grids. Basically, it's almost like becoming more aware of different dimensions that are causing manipulations. Well, the reason for that is to send healing to them and to become aware of it, basically to unplug yourself from the matrix system that they plug in. Because they plug in these manipulating energies. They can use a ray on you, but they just have different ways. They use technologies usually against you to basically scramble your brain, make your brain scrambled eggs. So you can bring a lot of negativity, downgrade yourself, especially when you're helping others. I kind of went through that this weekend a little bit, but I think it is mostly giving me an idea of how they're operating. So basically, I think I got more of a download of how they're doing things. Wasn't fully understanding it. I think I'm getting kind of I don't have to understand all of it, but basically getting kind of an idea how they operate. It does seem like, they do an infusion sometimes. It does seem like when they do the manipulations, normally it's a being that's close by. Of course, you can't see them. You can't feel them either, usually. They do it at night also, they can do it during the day too. They just basically come in, shine their wonderfulness on it, and then they leave. And all of a sudden, you're like, it's almost like it's like they're putting a web on you. It's like, oh, now I'm just mad about this, I'm mad about that, or whatever it might be. That doesn't mean anything. At least that's what seems to be part of manipulations. And the idea is to basically to realize it's a manipulation to heal it. That's not easy, especially when you're used to those manipulations most of your life. And I've healed those things, and then they bring it back, basically. What they can, what they feel like they can't bring it back, because like a family wound or something like that, family issues, whatever it might be. But it's also, it does seem like it is to ideas to go to source of where these things are coming from. And it is mostly reptilian, but not all. Syrian, Lyran. Felines have this too. Felines are mostly media. I've seen them mostly there. Syrians are so quiet. Reptilians are pretty obvious. I mean, we become more aware of this, and you say something, do something like what I'm doing. Eventually, they show themselves, and it's like, oh, okay. So you just feel their aggravation, basically. And the more you waken up, it really pisses them off. I haven't felt anything recently, but then again, I am getting attacked here and there. I'm kind of understanding where they're coming from. But yeah, if you see a big green reptilian standing in front of you, not having a good time, well, that tells you're full awake. You're doing well in your awakening process. So, yeah, some of us might have more of a connection, a first contact sooner than we're coming to time. It's basically, like I said, individual contact. As for worldwide, it's a different story. There's also a possibility. Well, there's always a possibility, but it does seem like we're becoming more likely that, I mean, obviously connect to the lower energies, but also connecting more to the positive. The connecting more positive, basically seeing your alien friends a little more clearly as if you're ready, but you'll see them. Everybody else most likely won't. We're getting, this all takes time, but I believe more of the connection of that will increase over time. It depends on how you are within. How are you? If you say, oh wow, I just saw blah blah, it's just all whatever it is, and then everybody's gonna think you're nuts. That's the idea, is to see them. Obviously, tell people that are aware. Obviously, so there's many reasons why we don't really see them. They can make themselves seen to you. Even if they look like a ghost, they can still up their frequency or downgrade their frequency, whatever it is. At least so we can see them. Of course, we can up our frequency also, but we're not always meant to see them. At least I'm not at this time. Like I said, my mission, yeah, like my dream state is closed down normally, because a lot of it will interfere with my mission from what I'm feeling. And it's best just to shut it all off. It's not always the case, but a lot of cases, shut it off. It's basically just to close it all down. And just if I have human stuff I got to clear out, just clear that, like with work or whatever, I might just clear that out. Because if I have any indication of astral, it'll just get in the way from what it feels like. Not everybody's like that, but that's the way I am. But it's like I focus on my mission instead of focusing on my astral dream for 2 or 3 days. So it's best I don't remember anything. So that makes sense. And that's also goes for not seeing beings also. It's like I know they're here. Do I need to really see them? Not really. I already know they're around. I don't really need to. I know what they look like. Well, not all, but I have a good idea. But is it that important? Not really. The idea, I'm just using my example or my situation, is this, they're there. The idea is you to, do the best you can in your life. If you're going to have a bad day, you're going to have a bad day. If you're going to have a positive day, you have a positive day. And sometimes the like attacks they're just a test. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's just a test in how you deal with it. That's the biggest thing. And this video is going a whole different way. As I just all of a sudden get a download, and here I go. I wasn't expecting any of this. I was going to talk about the end of the world for 2 hours anyway. So this is like way off topic, but it doesn't really matter. So it does seem like certain of, no, like I said, some are already becoming more aware. It's gonna, with the galactic world, of course, we're connecting an astral with the beings. We're allowing what we need to come through. But like I said, individually, more is going to come through. It's going to get stronger and stronger every year. And the more of us, the better. You don't have to exactly be on video, but the more that are aware, the stronger the energy gets of ascension, and more aware, just more awareness. And I believe that more that we know, the more further down we go, the more knowledge you get, the more you get to see what you're doing. Also, you'll get a download when you need to, but it does seem like what matters most is just, what's going on outside the planet, of course, inside. What's going on outside the planet, with motherships or whatever it might be, is also, that has a lot to do with what's happening here too. A lot of, they're outside the planet because trying to remove a lot of the manipulations also. And then, of course, new ones are coming in all the time, it seems. Portals, dimensions are opening up with beings that are not welcomed here come in. So I believe some of the politics, alien politics, have become more known, at least individually, when it needs to be. Such as like what happens with California, the fires, the earth, the hurricane situation. So I could just get to more. It's basically you're getting a download of, but also you're assisting clearing these problems around what matters most. What you can't be everywhere, but it does seem like you get more information as the world becomes more galactic. Yeah, it does seem like also traditional channeling is going to change eventually and become more just, I don't know, just it won't just be one person channeling, it'll be several people receiving the same information basically here and there. It'll just change. They're not getting me old. It'll just change. Many times, right? We're setting the stage for turning the earth, turning it on, turning it, whatever, the new earth, having a focus more on itself. As you said, a lot of, people are just awakening on their own, just to get indication, whatever it might, they're just ready. And of course, a lot of their friends are going to think they're crazy, and, but just it's an individual wake up call, and they're wondering where to go. They come here or go wherever, and that's great. It's just we're going to become more, centered. More knowledge is going to come to us individually of where our planet's going to go. It's just I can say it's kind of like an uphill battle, but nothing that you can't handle. It's just, because they're going to test us with fear and whatever it might be that I can think of. It's just going to, it just, as a galactic communities, here, are we going to become more noticed eventually? Yes. When is hard to say. But yes, it's going to be, it's hard to say when, but we're definitely going to, it's just, it doesn't matter when. It's just, and they might laugh at us for a while, but, how long is that going to last? I mean, they're going to laugh all they want. It's like, nobody in the galactic community wishes anybody any harm. I mean, it might be some, but mostly that'll be a small percent. Most, like 99%, doesn't wish anybody any harm. And so to use their abilities and powers to enable people to understand their own abilities and powers and just move that along. And so humanity won't know what that is. So if we're just powerless humans, well, yeah, of course that's what they told you. So yeah, we're just gonna. As for where this, yeah, this is all downloaded. It's basically we're going through a big change uh, right now. We're all just being prepped, basically. We're all being informed. Not all knowledge needs to be known through channelings, as because it's just not meant to be known. But you'll know. You'll just know. It's like you're activated. You're like all of a sudden you just turn on. Basically, is what I'm getting. You just know. Basically, of what's to come. Basically, what is this all about? Is this all just a bunch of channeled information? Blah blah blah. And we just sit here forever and wait for the world to get better? No, it's action, but it's spiritual action. Because yeah, just just you being you, your thoughts, it all sends off. It goes everywhere. It helps other people awaken. You don't see it, but it does. And so it's just just care for yourself. You're healing. Nobody's perfect. And just the more you awaken, the more things change, basically. Like what's going on in Washington, it's just a lot of manipulations, that's all. Kevin Spacey, there's so many others that are like him apparently in Hollywood that have not been mentioned. That will be, well, who knows? It might be. It will be most likely be uncovered. And those are your jaw will drop basically when you hear these names apparently. But it all comes out of free will, or if anyone will say anything. So there are several others in the Hollywood I think are crystal clean, but that's not always the case. So it's not worth speculating. It's just the Hollywood system does seem to be collapsing. That's right, they canceled Netflix with after they just happened to cancel it right after the whole thing with Kevin Spacey. So I imagine there's other things that are going on in the world other than that, but I'm not really paying. It doesn't matter. Just go. That was in the chat. Interesting. So let's see. Yeah, Hollywood's definitely going to go through. Now, there's a high possibility that some, maybe not the big studios, but some studios are going to start going into bankruptcy, but probably more like the smaller ones because of what's going on with the Hollywood system. It's kind of unraveling itself. Most likely the smaller ones. Now, they would have been fine if this didn't happen, but now it's happening. So a lot of people are distrusting Hollywood and moving away from it. So it's going to cause some big difficulties. But nothing. But also, it does seem like this is paving the way for a new Hollywood, a new, I want to say, an alien version of it eventually. Meaning you get more galacticness eventually. No time soon, but eventually. It's going to go through its clearing out. It's going to take a while, but the world is going to go into a major transition. It's already in that cycle of its renewing itself, basically. The old is getting thrown out, the new is coming in, but the new people don't understand. Now they have a galactic community, did not have that back in the 1920s. So now you have a galactic, more people are becoming more aware of their alien selves. So that's allowing more of an Earth transformation that this world has not seen in a very long time. With connecting to its Atlantean Lemurian energies will just be like a wave. Just be yourself and just not the more fear you have of all this, the more you're going to block it. So the more that you have no fear, and just basically just go about your day, what you feel right for you, to meditate if you wish, just be yourself, use your intuition to connect with what beings. If you want to connect to anyone, just use your intuition, basically. What do you think you are connecting to? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are connected to? And just go by what you feel from that. That is your intuition connection, and then you'll also open up more, when the time is right. You don't need to know everything, but the idea is for you to heal your human self. Basically, it's just so you can grow spiritually without manipulations. That's the thing about religion. Religion has a lot of manipulations. It's like, if you don't do this, you're going to hell. What is that? We're all going to hell. What a great, just as soon as you're born, you're a sinner. It's like, what a great welcome to Earth. It's like, geez, they might as well just put that on, like, yeah, something moved here too. Like, they might as well just put that on walls of hospitals. It's like, welcome to the world, sinner. I mean, what is that? Jeez. So, eventually religions will collapse eventually. But it's basically, understand this is all a download. It's basically for light workers to basically understand who they are, what they are. You don't need to know everything about your galactic connection, but as you feel firm about yourself, as the Earth transforms, that you stay strong, basically. You're not here to save the world, save yourself, heal yourself. But I remember way back, just gotta love it. One of the spiritual communities, a lady, I guess she said, like, when the world goes to hell or economy crashes or L, that species called L, takes out the economy, the white workers will be there to just help everybody find their way. Come on, man, really? That's not how it works. They're not going to be listening to you and your aliens. If that's not good, it's not going to work that way. So yeah, any channelings about like economic collapse, nobody really knows that, but I don't know if that's some kind of manipulation, 2027 or whatever. That's not correct. Of course, we're just not in 2027 yet, but either way, it's like, for beings to do that is not helping us at all. It's just not. It's and nobody really knows that. I mean, yeah, it's some aliens, I guess, but to be channeled, to have that channeled, you're feeling the fear of the beings that are being channeled. It's just not, it's just, you can say it's in their way of helping us avoid those situations or get a better idea of who we are, whatever it might be. But either way, the future is still always going to be of the unknown. It's still going to be a mystery. I mean, heck, we can still have first contact anytime. I mean, who knows? But yeah, like the Middle East, that's, needs a healing, and religions of all. But either way, what matters most is the individual, that you know where you are, your place, your direction, and make your own rules, whatever it might be. What if you don't want to see a 6-foot reptilian? There's Nordics, there's Arcturians. Can't go wrong with Arcturian. Remember, you can control your space too. Not everybody's ready for a mantis or a cockroach or whatever it might be. You can control, you rule your space. So, of course, there are some beings that try to come through. They just keep nudging, hey, channel me. Well, whatever. I don't get that much anymore on that. Which I'm glad. But yeah, you might feel some beings around you that are kind of like, hey, look at me. I'm a fish being or whatever. Or I'm a sandwich. Oh, I forgot I had a sandwich image I was going to put. Oh, well, I forgot about that. I'll put it on Facebook. that sandwich cartoon. But my idea, though, with some is just that you feel comfortable in your shoes in your direction, basically, as the world shifts. Now, there is, unfortunately, in the spiritual community, also some do feel like they're more advanced than others, and some don't have an ego, and some do. The ones that have an ego can be kind of a problem, but whatever. But everybody's at a different level of what you're remembering yourself, you're re-downloading yourself, and so it just feels like we're going to connect more to our the outside beings, basically, as we get more help with our ascension. Yeah, because as you open up more alien beings feel more comfortable they'll connect with you to connect with others. So that's what I'm getting. So the more just you feel, this is basically you are a safe place, and just open up more and more. When the times are, it might be more angels, might be more Garthian beings, whatever it is that you want to connect with. Yeah, some of the aliens can be more aggressive in getting their message out because they want us to ascend and get rocking and rolling. A lot of the angels want us to just basically make life easier for all of us. Your aliens will come when they need to. The idea is for humanity to just chill when it comes down to it. Just chill and get along with each other better, and add several healings, so our communities can raise our Earth's vibration. It's kind of hard to do that, with all the different manipulations of it, but little by little. Everything will shift. Is this if your neighbor opens up to this, and more people are opening up to this, they'll definitely feel the higher vibrations. They'll just continue. So awareness, just basically just allow it to happen as it needs to do, as it needs to go. We're not in a rush. Some might feel like we are. All right. Well, that was from the Galactic Federation of Light. All of them, it seems like. It just they'll just help us more understand their presence here, but it'd be like an individual download. Basically, it doesn't always have to be through certain channelers. It's just more people seems to be allowing themselves to heal, and that's when you get more information. So it does seem like we're going to more, because the more you just feel it. You feel a change. It's not just you have all this knowledge and it's fine, but you feel just different. And Washington feels it, other people around you feel it, and you feel your vibration has changed. And it also helps them, those around you, whoever it might be, help them remove the fear, basically, and allow what needs to come through. So it's just you're basically just allowing the unknown, a positive unknown, come just enter. It's like you're a chapter of a book, and you only hit all these chapters. You hit this spiritual chapter. It's like, oh, am I going there? I think people have skipped around, or just they don't go anywhere with that. Of course, they have other lessons they can learn, but let's put it this way: you can skip a bunch of chapters to get to the spiritual side. It's like here's a glimpse of it. It's like, no, and they go around that. That doesn't mean that they can fully leave it. It's with everyone, but not everyone wants to experience it. When the time's right. Individually, many are connected to the hoax of materialism, and also, of course, at your level of class system. Like the wealthy, they want to keep up their wealthy class system. That's like putting, a you know, it's like putting a tarp around your eyes or a cloak around your eyes so you can't see. Money is just another way. Not always, but a lot of ways it's just to close you down instead of open you up. It closes you down, putting more materialism, class. I need to look like this. I need to look like that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a little bit harder for them to open up. Those that are in poverty, of course, uh, can't find any other answers anywhere else. Like I can't. I mean, no matter what I do, I'm always poor. I know what that feels like. Uh, it's like there's only under one other way, and that is within. Of course, there are those that are rich also that are very spiritual. I think they're in. I forget where it is. It's I forget. It was in New Mexico somewhere. I forget where they meet. There's a place, a spiritual. Gosh, I can't think of it. It's a place in New Mexico that's a spiritual center. I can't think of the name of it. It doesn't matter. So it's like an hour or two away from Albuquerque. And I can't think of the name of it. It doesn't matter. But a lot of celebrities go there for, I think Woody Harrelson goes there, and I'm drawing a blank, but a lot of celebrities go there for healings and things of that sort. I just cannot think of the name of it. It's not important. Just like spiritual city, New Mexico. That's not what it's called. If you look that up, most likely you'll find it. I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna skip that search for that. Either way, let's see here. Yeah, materialism, obviously, and then class system. Also, those that go to college also, meditate. A lot of them don't meditate. They don't, they're connected with a lot of negativity, trying to get negativity that's coming from their own teacher, because there's manipulation around the teacher, which goes around students. But it's just there's a class system. It does seem like there's a lot of young souls in college. A lot of young souls, not to say there's not older souls, but a lot of new souls that are first time to this earth. Let's put this: souls that don't really come to this planet very often. They go to college. Not all of them, but a good amount. And you'd be surprised those that have no college degree are just a bunch of talk-o-matics. They go into fast food and they just want to talk. But they're there for social, to be social, whatever it might be. They're not there to make money. Even if it does suck not having any money, they're there to be social. In college, you can do that too, but it's a different class. Some of them in the fast food industry don't feel like they need money. Of course, some do, but some don't. It's just everybody chooses a different profession, of course, but it's also your environment. It's like fast food world is almost like it's like another high school. And college feels like kindergarten sometimes, depending on what college you connect to. So, it all depends. Or nursery for that matter, depending on. It's like booze is their new milk, unfortunately. And that's very, when you think about it, it's still very childish. But whatever, that's part of the soul growth, either way. Of course, that's not everybody, but it's a good amount. Also, I'll jump into like Harvard, like with the secret societies. That's all indoctrination. Basically, to see what you have to join their secret society. It's also to get families. It's basically the secret society. I think there's one in Yale, or is that Skull and Bones is Yale? I forget. It doesn't matter. I forget what is where, but anyway, they all have secret societies. Basically, yeah, these are the elite families, but they also want to see, who they can pull in. That's not an elite family that they can work with, they can craft and turn into one of their minions to run one of their banks or whatever it might be that they can manipulate. They can marry into their little, nightmare system, because those, so they beat the crap out of them. They make them, those fraternities, they make them, eat whatever it is, and, they do terrible things. But if you pass, that means you're good enough to be part of their, the rest of the sludge, basically, obviously. Because within their families, they get a lot of duds in their families, so they got to eventually kind of drowns out. You like, the talent pool is now a bunch of George W. Bushes, nowheresville here. So they go. That's why they have these fraternities. People that want to be somebody, want to prove something to their family and work their butt off, and then they have them eat whatever, somebody's underwear. They say, "Wow, you did that," and then you put them into families, and then they're next thing you know, they're president of the United States. Sad world, but it's just yeah, college is obviously just another brainwashing creation, obviously, but it is of mostly those of the elite families, because they're the ones that can afford it, at least the bigger ones. Most of the bigger ones are the same families that go through it. Not all, but either way, it seems to be mostly the prestigious elite is usually the elite families, even if it seems like for the most part, that's what it is, obviously. But there are every once in a while a new one would come in. But it's like recycling each other, basically. It's just, yeah, it's like a sick game, basically. And also, it feels like some of the fraternities control how the professors do too. I mean, you watch them, which I never really thought about. I don't think about that stuff very much. So yeah, they watch them too. They get stuff on the professors or whoever. That's yeah. If they want to rat one out, or yes, the professors are actually well watched, obviously. But I see by the fraternities actually, some of them either going to kick one out or whatever it might be, or it has to fit the agenda of the school. Of course, there's the headmaster. It feels like fraternities are very much controlling the schools themselves, like the Skull and Bones or whatever it might be. Yeah, no surprise there. I mean, it's just a smoke screen. Jeez, lovely. So, yeah, they control the world's information. Look what happened to Bill O'Reilly, and a lot of people. It's just a big joke, basically. Like Bill O'Reilly, for that matter, is he's like a minion. He's big ego. They fueled the ego. And they treat him like, hey, you're God. You can do whatever you want. So of course he goes ahead and does it, and see where it got him. So yeah, a lot of these. Eventually, the big media will fall. But yeah, it's Goliath. So it takes a while for Goliath to fall, but it will. In our lifetime, it slowly is already slowly. 10, 20 years from now, highly possible. YouTube's becoming very powerful. It's becoming very powerful, but of course, YouTube's getting very manipulated also. I think I have like 3 videos that have been demonetized because they're not. I'm surprised they monetize any of them, but anyway, it's not a big deal. And I can't make that 10 cents from any of my videos anymore. It sucks. But yeah, what's going on is, the mainstream media most likely probably, 10 to 20 years is going to be a bigger mess than it already is. And they're kind of terrified of it. YouTube's a problem, and that's one of them. But people aren't trusting them anymore. So that's going to continue on. They're going to spend all this crazy money to keep themselves alive. They'll still be around, but it's not going to be as strong as they used to be. They have the 3 big networks have kind of died down because of cable, but eventually it's going to take some time. At least 10 to 20 years feels like it's really going to have a big impact of people not listening to them anymore. It'll still be around, but it's not gonna. It's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna. They're gonna go down. Not. They're gonna be nasty. They already are. It's gonna get worse as they start losing viewership. It's gonna. Yeah. It's gonna be a while when they start losing viewership. Though it's gonna get very. They're gonna fight with everything they can. If they have to expose, throw people under the bus, they'll do it. I don't think Harvey Weinstein's a. It's. I think they're just hanging him out to dry. Wherever his controllers are just. Um, they didn't care what the repercussions were, and they're just hanging him out. So I believe that story went to New Yorker first, and then it went to the New York Times. I don't have the timeline on that, which is interesting. So, but yeah, the New Yorker and the New York Times obviously did not care what was going to happen. So whoever is running those two uh, at the top might not even be seen on their payroll, most likely not. Either way, it is they didn't care because they're going to lose advertising and whatever it might be. Because that guy's the prince of Hollywood supposedly, not anymore. So who knows? Seemed like it was like a sacrifice. From what it feels like, hung them out to dry, and now they're watching them squeal, and other people are going to go down with them, possibly. It's hard to say. They're just fighting dirty, most likely. Anything else? Yeah, I'll just let it go. Yeah, the college situation is quite interesting. It is obviously the major ones are ran by the dark societies, Illuminati energies. There have symbolism at some of them. Most of the major universities. This is where a lot of the mind control is done. Obviously, of course, with this professors, easy mind control there. But it does go out to the students, and it just goes out to society like a plague, basically. But they can't see everything. They can't predict everything. So they have to adjust with the times. And I think even they're kind of a little bit worried of where the world's going because they don't, it's the opportunity of the unknown. Even one thing, the mainstream media, well, yes, is going to go through a lot of growing pains. So it's just going to start, the dinosaur is going to start falling apart eventually. But also, I see the major schools that, because a lot of these people who go to those places are from the big schools. I think the schools will maintain their status and just find another way to stay relevant. But you might see Harvard students on YouTube, probably, in some shape or form. Yep. Whatever it might be, Yale, whatever. Yeah, because or YouTube. YouTube seems to be the only thing, which is really bizarre. But eventually there'll be others. Eventually. So, all right. Not sure if any. Hopefully this is helpful to somebody. Also, before I go, there's I didn't do much of the chat. That was a major download. Jeez. IslamTower.com. We have private sessions. Not this week because I'll be out of town. Also have gift cards, easy purchase of Google Hangouts, Skype, Zoom, and channeling by phone. Well, you can book for next week and Saturday. That's right, I forgot. The webinar is going to be tomorrow and Friday. And we'll just make it work somehow. And so Saturday sessions will be open. You also submit a question. This week is good for submitting a question because I can't book any any sessions this week anymore. Tomorrow has been booked. And in the rest of the week, I don't really have anything. The rest of the week, I can't book anything. Also have Spirit Social. Submit a question, healing, past life regression, message from Yeshua, channeling, consulting, 5-minute healing. Also, spiritual connections, one question per day, chakra healing from a day, soul painting from Stephanie, and Joke Reiki from Miguel. This is what keeps the machine going, keeps uploads every day. Donations are much. Thank you for your support, for viewing this, for sharing it. Yeah, this is the real world, the weird world of the reality is that yeah, we're not alone, and they're here. We're connecting to them, and eventually that'll become the norm. There's nothing to be afraid of. It is weird, especially when connecting to reptilians. I'm getting flower people. I haven't connected to them before. Well, actually, maybe. Um, Whatever it might, humanoid aliens that have perfect skin. So, and grays and whatever it might be. They're all here watching us for their entertainment. But as we raise our vibrations, we'll definitely see them. And you can look out at the stars and wait for a spaceship to land all you want. But they have already landed. They are here. They're assisting us in our growing up, basically, our spiritual maturity. And so, all right, blessings, everyone. Take care and have a great week. And we talk to you tomorrow. Much love.